up, loves? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tiffany T, the Luxe Realtor. If you're new here, welcome. You guys, today's video is all about the open house. This is going to be the only video that you need to run a successful open house. If you still have questions, if you are not fully prepared for an open house after this, you have to reach out and tell me, because I just didn't do my job. Because my goal after this video is that you are pumped to run an open house, whether it is for your listing or you're hosting an open house for another agent. So let's get right into it. Okay, so you have secured the listing. You guys have signed your documents, you signed your contracts, you've got them on MLS, and you agreed that you're going to be hosting an open house, or there's an agent in your office or another agent who has a listing and you've decided that you are going to be able to help them host their open house. And all of these tips are going to help you. Make sure you guys have pen and paper because there are a lot of notes. So before you get to the open house, there are some things that you want to set straight with the seller, right? Because the open house is all on you. They're expecting for you to have great marketing, to bring in the buyers, and ultimately get the home under contract. That's all on you. But there are still things that the seller has to do. So thing number one, you want the seller to understand, and you guys may have talked about this, obviously, to even list the property and get great photos, but the landscaping on open house day is so important. So make sure that the grass is freshly cut. If it's during the winter months, that, the snow is plowed. Make sure everything looks good. If they have dead plants in front, whatever it is, that those are pulled up. So you want to make sure that the landscaping is A1, because when people walk up to do an open house, they're not walking right into the house. They're not only looking at the neighbors in the neighborhood, what's surrounding it, but they're going to be looking at the exterior of the home. So have that conversation with the sellers and make sure that the exterior is all ready for open house day. Thing number two is that you want to tell the sellers to make sure that they already hired you for the job. Let them know that they can trust you with the open house, and you're going to ask them to actually be gone during the open house hours. Buyers want to come in and they want to be comfortable to look. They want to even be comfortable to say how they feel. Listen, you might love the wallpaper, they might hate it. And that doesn't matter to you how they feel about it. Are they able to put in an offer and remove that wallpaper? So you want people to be able to walk through comfortably, ask their questions, not feel any pressure. And also, if you're home, you don't want people to feel like, oh, let's hurry up and walk through so that they can, have their space. If you're gone, it's going to be much more of a free flow and people are going to be comfortable during those a couple of hours. Now, these are some bonus tips that I'm going to give to you, something that you can do, especially depending on the price point of the home. Offer to buy the family, maybe they have young kids, ice cream and they go off to the park, right? Or offer to, maybe pay for a movie. They can go out and watch a movie. You can even offer the seller some type of gift. You guys know that as I'm sharing with these videos with you, I'm not just talking about doing the work, but I'm talking about your brand, how you represent yourself. And so the next time that they know someone looking to sell their home, they're going to say, listen, not only did they get my home sold, but during the open house, they sent us off to the movies. That's a conversation starter. So again, the most important thing is make sure that your seller is aware that we don't want them there. In addition to us not wanting them there, the pets gotta go. Listen, y'all love your dogs, you love your cats, and you love them. But not everyone wants to be dealing with dogs barking. And I've had that at an open house and it was like, this dog has got to go. Dogs will have somewhere to go that day as well. And if it's like ice cream in the park, maybe the dog can just stay with the family, but we want everyone to be out of the house, including the family pet. Now, here's the thing. If there are people who come and they also have pets, they're going to see the dog cage or they're going to see, the kitty litter. They're going to see that a pet lives in this home and still be able to envision their pet here in the backyard. So you don't have to worry about that part, but you just don't want that particular pet present for, again, those who may walk through who are partial to pets. In addition to them being gone, you want to make sure, and I'm telling you guys, I'm saying this because these are conversations you have to have. You never want to assume that they know. make sure that they clean the home, put valuables away, and also extra stuff that is not decor and going to add to the showing of the property. Now, if this is a vacant listing and you're doing an open house, you may actually want to stage it. You may actually want to bring some things in that'll make it a little more homey. But if you're doing an open house for sellers that still live in the home, make sure it's clean so they can hire a cleaning company or they can do the cleaning. Make sure valuables are actually locked away, and then the kids' toys, extra stuff that just sits on the dresser that may be ease of grab for you but does not add to the decor. We're going to go ahead and tuck that into the drawers, into the closets, for the sake of the open house. All right, so the sellers are clear on their job and what it is that they need to do. So now it is time for you to start planning for your open house. So this is the things, all the things that you're gonna do before open house day. So obvious thing number one is gonna be to get open house signs, right? You don't want to only have your open house information online. There may be people driving through the neighborhood, and you want them to know that there's an open house going on. So a couple things, if you're brand new, you don't really have any money, you might want to just ask a business partner, a broker, or another agent if you can borrow their open house signs. I know that open house signs are really inexpensive though, so it would be a great investment if you're able to use a little bit of the money that you have. I know you can purchase them from like the store that your board may have. You can get them from Amazon. Sometimes your company may offer them, but you definitely want to get your open house signs that you can have throughout the roads leading up to the actual property. And then you can have another one that's right in front of the house saying, hey, open house is here. So the next thing, you want to make sure you have enough cards and print material. Not only are they going to come to the home, but you want them to have something that they can also take with them. Understand that some people may come without an agent, or an agent might come, and you want to be able to, again, just give them the information that they may want to take back to their client. So I did make a note of a couple things that you can write up for print material, because it's not always just about the house listing. Because here's the truth of the matter. The house listing is online. That's how they know that there was an open house. They know the details of the property. That's why they came. Print material is going to be that extra thing, again, that just kind of helps that buyer make that final decision or help them in their process. It's literally like a gift for them. So a couple different print materials that you can, just get drawn up, and you can also print it out with your brands, your logo, your photo, your name, your number. On there can be house hunting tips. Again, maybe this is the first open house that someone has gone to, and you don't want to assume that they know everything, and don't assume that everyone coming is going to be coming with an agent, because they're not. Also, choosing the right realtor, right? Again, if they're coming without an agent, they're going to need a realtor to help them out, and you want that to be you. So as they take this information of the details of the house, now you're also showing them what to look for when working with a realtor. And so if they reach out to you because they loved your open house, your personality, how you were dressed, and they now reach back out to you, you've given them all these other maybe questions that they can now ask you. I read your print material on choosing the right realtor. We don't have one. We wanted to just ask you a couple questions to see if you would be able to help us. Okay, so choosing the right realtor is another really great print material that you could include. Another one could be an overall buyer's packet, right? People just don't know the process, and you don't want to assume that they know the process. I know for my company at EXP Realty, they have an entire buyer's packet already done for us that we can print out. Like I said, you just add your photo, your name, your number, your email, and you're good to go. So check and see if your company has one. If not, you probably can Google it. You can definitely put together a nice buyer's packet. And then the last, just my tip for what you could print out for print material is preparing to move. So if they, are renting a property, or even if they already own a property and they're buying a second property or a third property, or even if this is an investment property, you can include material that just gives them some tips on things to do as they prepare to move. So the next thing you want to do before your open house is you want to create an event on Facebook and Eventbrite. So the Facebook event, you'll be able to invite, again, both potential clients, people in your sphere, and agents that you know are in the area. And then Eventbrite, you obviously won't be able to invite people, but as people are searching in that area, that event is going to pop up. So make an event. And here's the thing, when you create an event on Facebook, don't leave it. Okay, so you've invited these people. As the people are joining the group, engage in that group. How many of you guys are here, and you're actually looking to buy right now? How many of you guys are here and you're already working with the realtor that you're going to bring to the open house with you? So when you create that event, you want to actually engage with the people that are in there. And of course, you're going to be sending the open house reminders, or Facebook actually will send that out to those who have accepted the invitation. So another thing that you want to do is you want to actually promote the open house to the neighbors right around there. Now, my main suggestion would be to renters. And we have access, right, through our MLS to know in that area who's renting, how long they've been there, if it's an absentee owner, if it's vacant, that type of thing. Now, if you want to kind of streamline it, and you may say, I'm just going to, send a mailer and invite in that overall area, then you can do that as well. But absolutely promote the open house in the area, because renters may be there and may love it. And so when they move, they already got their kids in a school. They don't want to change school districts. And now they can buy a home in the same area that they were renting in. You guys would be surprised how much people love their area and don't want to go outside of it. So you can send mailers, you can do door hangers. And another thing you can do, y'all know I'm a huge advocate of door knocking now. You can knock. And now it's more of a warm knock. It's not like this cold knock where you're trying to see if they want to purchase a home. You're literally just saying, hey, we're having an open house, down the street or around the corner, this coming Saturday or this coming Sunday. And I wanted to personally invite you, and put something in their hand, whether it's a small flyer that you created for the open house, whether it's a bag of candy with your business card in it, whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that you put something in their hand if you do door knock. Another thing that you can do is call your sphere and invite your sphere to come. So whether this is your sphere who are past clients, or even just your sphere of people that listen, I'm having an open house. I want to invite you guys to come by and take a look. Another thing, I know people who are kind of like, we're not looking to move, but if we find that right house, we'll do it. I've literally had clients like that. Like, we're not pressed to move, but if we find the right house, we'll do it. Invite your sphere of influence. Now, this one is going to be really big, whether you're new or you've been doing this for a long time. And that's going to be to partner with a lender to actually host the open house with you. There's so many reasons why you want to do this. Of course, to keep you company, so you're not there hosting by yourself. Also, safety reasons, not being in the home alone. But then two, they can partner with you on exposure, so marketing. They also can partner with you on splitting for refreshments, right? They can also bring some refreshments and print material. I know a lot of lenders that are willing to make that investment. So definitely, and this is why it's so important throughout your career and while you're building your business, to building those vendor relationships, so that when you do call and ask for them to host an open house with you, they're more than ready, because you guys have already been building business together. They're already aware of you, your character, your brand, how it is that you work. So definitely, I highly suggest partnering with the lender to host the open house with you. So this is something that obviously is just going to be dependent on the home as well as the budget. And that is, if the house is vacant, to stage or have it staged. So I know once before, you guys may have seen it, depending on how long you've been following me, I did light fall staging for a property. And when I say light, it was not furniture. So it was more so like decorative pieces, really cute pumpkins. I had like towels, hand soap in the bathroom, some soap in the kitchen, dish towels, and things of that nature. But if your client and if the home requires furniture staging, then that's a conversation that you can have with the seller. Check what that budget is going to be. And it's a couple of things that you can do. You can always rent furniture if you have an eye for a design. If you're not good at it, don't do it. If their budget is kind of low, or if even it's a gift that you want to give to them, you can find a really creative student that's like in graduation, or someone who is doing an internship or apprenticeship. And of course, they want to get these type of things on their resume. So you may actually hire them, or maybe they may do it for free just for the opportunity to put that on their resume. So you can get really creative with it, but you really want to know if staging is something that's really going to help this home move quicker, and you can decide if you're going to do it or if you're going to have someone else come in and do it. And I know when I did mine for my listing, I paid for it up front, and then I just invoiced my sellers to pay me back. So again, depending on your budget, your seller's budget, but that would be something that you have a conversation about. But I highly suggest staging if necessary. And if you're able to do it, absolutely do it, because it will not hurt. So just like that lender partner, you also can ask a business partner or another realtor to host with you as well. So in addition to the keeping you company, they also can help to monitor the crowd. I'm going to talk to you guys about during the open house. And one of the things is to make sure that there's no like big crowd at the front door as people are trying to come in. So you might have that realtor that's kind of directing the inside traffic. You might lead them to that realtor to sign in. Maybe you don't have people sign in right at the front door, but you don't want to get them all the way into the house and then stop them to get their information. So that second realtor can be there to really help, again, to monitor the crowd, move things along. And then if you have to, run out and not leave the open house to grab something, but if someone has a question in the backyard, you don't want that realtor presence to be lacking. So you have that agent there that can really help you to move throughout the house, monitor the crowd, and be available for questions. So this is a really good one, you guys. And that is going to be to attach testimonies from other neighbors to your marketing material. Now, again, this is going to pull you outside of your comfort zone. You are going to have to go knock on doors, but again, leave a small treat. And that could be now a 2-for-1, right? Because you want to invite them to the open house. You don't know if they're renting, buying, unless you look that up beforehand. So you're going to be inviting them to the open house, but you're also saying, hey, I know that choosing your neighbor is probably so important. Why don't you help me, make this look amazing to potential buyers by sharing a testimony? Would you be open to just kind of giving me a couple lines of sentences, just sharing with me how you feel about the neighborhood? Now, if they're the neighbor from hell and they are like, it's a terrible neighborhood, I'm glad they're moving, we're gonna give them our gift and we're gonna move on. We're not gonna include their testimony, but I'm sure you can grab at least 3 to 4 really great testimonies. And I'm telling y'all, that would be a game changer to share in your marketing material for potential buyers. Most important part of all of this is market, market, market. So I've already talked to you guys about contacting your sphere. I've talked to you about creating your events. I've talked to you about inviting the neighborhood. You want to make sure, one, that you actually have a brand for your marketing when it comes to the open house, okay? There's a color scheme, there's a font scheme. It's very inviting so that there's a consistency when you're posting. Get that open house flyer out on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, do TikTok videos, YouTube, whatever you have to do. You want to market this up so that your sellers see all of your effort and ultimately more people see it so that you guys can get a buyer quicker than later. Call other agents who you see have been selling properties in that area. Call them and say, hey, I see you're an expert out here. I see you've sold multiple properties here. I see you've had buyers here. I've got an open house coming up. Could you come by? Whether they have a client right now or not, this is obviously an area they sell in and you want them present. So call those agents, market, and have fun with it. Again, our company at EXP Realty, we have an entire marketing department of pre-made templates that are ready for you for open houses. But say you're not with EXP and say your company doesn't have pre-made templates, check out Breakthrough Broker. Again, Google. Y'all know I live for Canva. They have some amazing templates that are already made. You can just make the tweaks that you want to make for your branding, but get those open house flyers done, get them out there, get your boots on the ground, make the calls, and market this open house so that it is a successful one. So it's open house day. Your sellers are gone. They're off enjoying their movie. You've done all this work to get people to your open house, and now they are coming. So the thing that you want to do before you even leave home, you get up, obviously you're going to be energetic, you're going to get dressed, okay, and look amazing, and you are going to post again on socials. You are going to post that reminder. Make sure your Facebook event people, you're letting them, I cannot wait. No, I cannot wait to see you guys on all of your socials. I cannot wait to see you today. We've got the refreshments there. I've got an amazing lender partner who's going to be there with me. Post one more time the morning once you get there. And I would say as soon as you get there, before you even set your things out, play some light music. I wouldn't say party music that's too hype, but you can play some upbeat. You can always find instrumentals. I love instrumentals. So you can do an R&B instrumental, you can do a jazz instrumental. Again, based on the area, the type of home, again, just your client, who you're representing. You want to make sure that you're representing them well, but play some music so that that energy stays up. And then, of course, you're going to set out your refreshments. You're going to have that other agent there who's helping you. And you're going to also have the lender who has agreed to help you, partner with you, and purchase refreshments as well. Put some balloons out front. Again, you have the people that are coming to the open house that are ready. Make them feel greeted again before they come in the home. So the landscaping is going to be great. And then you with those balloons are saying, hey, we're right here and we can't wait to see you on the inside. So get some balloons or something, again, that makes it really easy to spot the property. Even though there's an address, y'all, as a realtor, we drive around looking for the addresses. And if we see those balloons and we've already seen the open house sign, I know where I'm going. And then too, for people who may not have seen it on social and they're just driving through, those balloons might really get their attention. So make sure you set your cards and your signage out, right? Before the open house, you got your print material together, you got your testimonies from the different neighbors. So you want to make sure you get your your print material and your cards laid out, and make sure it's somewhere visible where the clients can see it so that they can grab it. And then that's another thing that you and the other agent can work through, is we want to make sure someone is stationed at the front at all times, so that obviously when people are coming in, we're greeting them, making sure they're signing in, but also when they're leaving out, we're reminding them to either grab the material or we're putting the material in their hands. If you have the money, I also suggest to give a small gift. It really does not hurt to give a gift. People love gifts. Let me say this, I love gifts. If I go somewhere and you give me a little lotion, I love it. I absolutely love gifts, and I think everyone does. So if it's in the budget, right? If it's not in the budget, you're new, it's okay. I'm just telling you how to have an amazing open house, and maybe you can do it the next time after you close this one and get that good commission check. So leave some branded pens, maybe mugs, again, a bag of candy. Like I tell y'all, I love Dollar Tree, okay? I love Dollar Tree and what I'm able to do there. You can go there, grab some nice bags. It can be a solid color, grab a couple different, it doesn't even have to be expensive candy. It can be mints and your business cards. If you package it right, it still is a gift, something that you put in their hands that they can remember you by. So you want to make sure that the home smells good. A tip that a lot of people leave is to actually bake cookies so that the home smells like that. You can do air fresheners, you can do Glade plugins, you can do candles, but make sure not only when they come in, you got the music going, the energy is up, but it smells good. Also, turn on all the lights. You don't want a client walking around turning the lights on. And another thing to do, again, this is where you and that agent can kind of rotate. You can even ask the lender to do it. You want to go through the house maybe every 20 minutes or something, making sure that people haven't turned off lights. Because I know me, around my house, when I leave a room, I'm turning the light off. So it might be, people may be on cruise control and hit that light switch. So you want to make sure at all time, all the lights are on. You want it as light, as airy, and you just want the atmosphere to feel amazing. In addition, open all the blinds and the curtains. You want the people to experience natural light. Again, outside, if it's a beautiful day, you want them to be able to see that. You want them to also see the window. And another thing that's going to be very important is to keep the front door unlocked. So of course, if they don't have a screen, you can't keep it open. If they do have a screen, I suggest keeping it open so that, again, people can feel welcome. It's an open house, meaning the house is open to you to come in. Someone is going to be stationed there, so you don't have to worry about that, but you want that door open, unless Two, you guys are standing there to be able to open the door for them, but I always suggest leaving the door open. If there is no screen, I just went to an open house where there was no screen, at least leave the door unlocked so that when people get there, they're not like standing there trying to open the door. So make sure you keep the doors unlocked. Same thing for if there's like a patio or an open door to go outside. Same thing, you don't want them standing there trying to unlock the door. Make sure you leave everything unlocked. And again, check throughout the time, because if someone came in and maybe they closed the sliding door, they may have locked it. So you want to check and make sure that the doors remain unlocked. So you want to post your open house signs in the most visible places. So usually at like the end of the road where the roads intersect and people are driving and can see that. Obviously, again, in front of the house so that they know, and then maybe a block or two over with the arrows pointing toward where your next open house sign is so that they can follow it. So make sure that the directions are really clear and make sure that those signs are set up in a place where people can really understand them. So I talked about this in the before the open house, and now that we're at the open house, like I said, the reason that you want to have that extra agent there is you want to make sure that there's a really good flow and that we don't have crazy crowds at the front door. Something that will really be good, and we're talking about this at the open house, is obviously you're going to have a sign-in sheet. It might be great for you to have a digital and a written. So say there's someone already there that's signing in the written one, and then you got 2 or 3 people that now walks through, you can direct that next person and say, hey, you can come over here and fill the sign-in information here. So I definitely suggest, obviously, that you get sign-in information, and maybe you can have 2 separate spots so that the people don't crowd around that front door. And you want to make sure on your sign-in that you get the client's name, that you ask if they already have an agent, that their email address, their phone number is there, and also if they're actively looking, and maybe if they're pre-approved. Like there's a couple different things that you can ask on that sign-in sheet. Again, at EXP, we have an actual open house app that I love. It's so easy. The clients can fill in the information. And of course, we're going to talk about what to do with that at the end when I talk about post open house. So also, you want to work the room. You want to give people space to look throughout the home. You don't want to feel like you're breathing down anyone's back, but you also want to work the room. If you see someone standing in a room for a while, if you overhear a question, just feel free to check in on them. Maybe you can, when you are checking in, ask them if they have questions, maybe bring the refreshments to them or bring a water or something to them. But make sure you're giving people space, but you're also working the room so that as questions are being asked or people are pondering on things, you can answer them right then. The goal is that we want a buyer, we want a contract that day. So let's do everything we can during the open house to get that done. So with working the room though, you also want to make sure that you don't make it seem like you're rushing them out, right? So again, the great thing is you can call, hey, I hope you're enjoying the open house. Did you all get a water? They say yes or no. Okay, perfect. You got any questions? Are you all doing good? All right, perfect. Well, I'll see you shortly, or I'm in the front if you need anything, right? So you're still working the room. You're working your way around. You're seeing if they need anything. You're offering a refreshment, but you're not rushing them out, if that makes sense. If you get a last minute client, listen to me. If open house is over at 3 o'clock and someone walks in at 2:45, 2:50, let them do the walkthrough. Don't rush them out. As a matter of fact, when you schedule your open house, give yourself a buffer time of an hour after that. This open house is not about your comfort. This open house is for your sellers to get a client, and that's going to come through you. So again, if you get someone last minute, even if they come in and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I know I'm last minute, you make them feel welcome. That's totally okay. Come on in. We still got the refreshments out. We still got this. We still got that. So don't start trying to pack up at 2:30 if it's over at 3. You pack up at 3:01 if no one is there, okay? So don't rush out any clients that come through at any time. Another really cool thing that you can do at the open house is set up something for kids. Now, of course, most people, the kids are probably going to walk through with them, but if they're comfortable, they see something maybe in the backyard or something sitting in the dining room, and maybe it's a color station and it's open, they may be okay with allowing the kids to sit there and color while they walk around. Or maybe if they don't want to leave their kids, just like you're putting something in their hands, you can put something in the kids' hands to leave. So you can give them a crayon or two with a coloring sheet. It's so inexpensive to go and print out black and white coloring sheets. So again, when you're hosting open houses, you don't just want to think about that buyer, but think about their kids. People love their kids. And so when you do right by their kid as well, or you think about their kid, that's going to mean something to them. And I'm telling you guys, I know ultimately the person has to want the house, be able to afford the house, but it does something to the psyche when you treat them well in that space. They may start looking at like, oh, well, the dining room isn't as big as we preferred it, but it's something that you did that's like, but we can work with this space, So definitely think about the kids. So the last thing that you want to have happen at your open house is to have a feedback sheet. So you can do this a couple ways. Now, I would say do it before they leave. So again, as they're leaving out, thank you so much for coming. Would you mind filling out a really small feedback sheet? I know you've got to go. And it can either, again, be digital, or there can be another form there, and it can be only a couple questions. Don't keep them forever. Let them go ahead and get out. Let them know it's completely anonymous. No one will see your name, but we definitely want to get your feedback. That is a game changer, because now, even when I talk to you about post open house, you're going to be able to, again, have conversation with the clients, not based specifically on what they've said, but you can just kind of talk a little bit about, we do have a couple people who have said that they're going to be putting in offers, so we wanted to follow up, blah, 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 okay? So make sure that to close out your open house excellently, you have that feedback sheet. So now the open house is over. It was absolutely successful. First thing first, you guys are going to clean up, okay? Everything that you brought, get it up, but don't just get up the refreshments. Wipe down their counters, right? Make sure they come home to the same clean house that they left. You're going to obviously get your open house signs, get rid of your balloons. Again, they want to come back to their home the way that they left it. Give your sellers a call. Just because it was over at 3, like I said, you may have had a late client. You may still be there cleaning up, but don't have them just sitting around waiting. Give them a call and say, hey, we're all done. Can't wait to share the success of the open house with you, and you guys can come home now. So make sure you give them a call. And then the last thing, and probably the most important thing that you're going to do, is your follow-up. So you had that sign-in sheet. You're going to make sure that you follow up with all the clients that came, and then those agents who came, you want to follow up with them as well. See what their clients are saying. Send thank you emails out for them coming to your open house. One other thing that you are going to do, obviously, like I said, you're going to tell the seller, I can't wait to share the success. So you're going to share the truth with them. So you'll be able to tell them how many people came through, how many signed, how many actually came with agents that you're going to follow up with, or didn't come with agents that you're still going to follow up with. And then you also want to share the feedback. These sellers have to know if there's something that needs to change or something that people loved, but this thing turned them off. The sellers have to know, so don't hide anything. Y'all, I gotta be honest, I was nervous shooting that video. I have never been nervous shooting a video for you guys, but I have pinned this as the #1 video that you need to watch to prepare for a successful open house. I believe if you do all of those things with the seller before the open house, during the open house, and then post open house, you are going to be an open house guru. Listen, if you guys enjoyed that video, y'all already know I need you to like, I need you to comment. Have you already done an open house? Are you gearing up for one? Are you excited to do them? Like, and then make sure y'all subscribe to my community